Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's take a walk and go see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. I certainly do appreciate you stopping by. Today's beer, we're doing another Treehouse Brewing beer. This is their Dear Washington. And this was sent to me by my beer brother Greg, and he writes that he's really looking forward to this one. According to the side of the can, the hops they used were in the ground the day before brewing. So an extremely wet hop beer. Should be a lot of hop aroma and taste on this. It says 6.7% alcohol here on the back, and says 10/3 of 19 on canned on date. So not quite a month old. Big 16-ounce can, plain Jane silver can with a stick-on label. Beer Advocate has a 6.8%. It says 6.7 right here on the label, so maybe they brewed it before and it had a different ABV. Lord only knows. It's got 6.8 also on Untapped. So both of them are wrong as far as this year edition. So the 2019 is 6.7%. That's what it says on the can, and I believe that before I believe the sites. So it says here, Dear Washington is a wet hopped American IPA brew with Citra and Amarillo hops harvested from the fields of Washington and shipped directly to our brewery in less than 24 hours. It is brewed in a way not typical of a wet hop beer, eschewing overly resinous leafy hop character and flavor of gentle, well-integrated hop notes and soft lupulin character. Dear Washington pours a glowing orange color in the glass and emits flavors and aromas of tangerine juice and grapefruit. A soft malt body provides heft with minimal bitterness or leafy hop presence, making it exceptionally pleasant to drink. In the words of Natty Blias on the packaging line, it's a glider. So, we shall see. We shall see. So, without further ado, we don't have the IBUs, guys. So, the 2019 is 6.7, not 6.8. So, and I didn't type in a year. Maybe they've got Dear Washington 2019 listed there. I didn't do that. I should have. Not very cloudy or hazy coming out. Fairly clear coming out of the can, unless there's been a lot of settling going on. So this one is not going to be a New England style beer, which is what these guys are known for. Yep, it's very clear there, guys. Nice amber color, very clear. Looks like a filtered beer, but it may not be the case. We shall see how tasty this one is going to be. To the nose we go. Nice hop presence. It's not off the chain hop aroma like the New England style beers are though, guys. Reminds me of a West Coast style. Nice citrusy notes, hints of some grapefruit. Maybe a little bit of oranges or tangerines in there. Reminds me of a West Coast style. It really does. Let's get it to the lips. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Greg. Very smooth, very easy drinking. Pleasant beer. Kind of, to me, this is just my opinion, a little on the subpar for Treehouse, but you know, they can't brew the same style over and over and over. I mean, there's only so many ways you can do that. So I guess they're doing, to me, a West Coast style. Because the hop aroma is there, but it's not off the chain like their typical beers are. is a very easy drinking, very smooth IPA. I mean, this is definitely not blowing my hair back or my socks off or anything, but well, this is a little cloudier on the back end here, so it looks like we may have had some settling going on in this one. Yep, it definitely murkied it up a little bit when I poured that very last. So this wet hop beer on Dear Washington here, there is some settling going on, I guess, from using wet hops. Now that looks more like a New England style beer there, guys. So I wasn't expecting that much settling since the beer is 3 weeks old, but it did. Now it looks like orange juice. Yep, that clouded it up quite a bit. So a lot of that stuff has settled in this particular one from those guys. Actually, it's got just a little bit more hop presence now that I've got the back end in there. Maybe a little tropical fruit notes in there too, but more tangerines and grapefruit. Almost has like a grassy, grainy aspect to the beer too. Decent beer. Let's sip on this one and then we'll come back and give it a grade. A little bit different using that fresh of a hop, and probably whole cone hop, I would think, since they jerked it out of the ground and shipped it to them within 24 hours. And I brewed with whole cone hops because I grow hops out back here. And it's a lot harder to work with than a pellet hop. Never brewed with any lupulin powder, but definitely brewed with pellets and whole cone hops before. So let me sip on it. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. I've been sipping on it for a little bit. That back end pour really changed this beer. I mean, I'm getting a more hop aroma, more hop taste to it. It clouded it up. It does look like a New England style beer. Very surprised that much settling is going on in this beer. Their beers usually don't do that. Maybe because it's a wet hop beer. I'm not sure. That'd be my guess. That much settling was going on where it usually doesn't with their beers. But it's a little more flavorful and it's a little more tastier than the initial sip or two before I poured that back end in there, and it opened it up quite a bit. I wasn't that impressed from the first couple of sips, but since I poured the back end in there, it definitely woke the beer up. So very surprised that much settling going on in this beer, and it's only 3 weeks old. So lesson learned, I guess. I would say don't judge a book by its cover till you get it all in the glass, huh? So I do think this is a tasty beer, and like I say all the time with Treehouse beers, I would buy this beer if I could get it here, guys. Even though it's not quite up to the 7% for my go-to beers. A lot of taste, a lot of flavor. Very nice beer. Well done. Roll your can or do whatever you got to do to get it all in the glass before you start drinking it, because it's going to really change the aroma and taste of the beer, getting that back end into it. So, final chug. It is a tasty beer, but it's more. It doesn't have all the off-the-chain hop taste and aromas that their typical beers have, but still a very enjoyable beer. This is, to me, guys, it's not a 10 beer. It's not even an A beer to me. I'm going to give it A minus. I'm going to give it a 93, guys. It does have the ABV on the can. It does have canned on date on it, but it's not as impressive as some of the other stuff that I've had from them. So still tasty though. Definitely worth trying, worth picking up if you can get your hands on it. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 88. That's in their B+ range. I think it's better than that, guys. Especially once I got the back end pour in there, it really woke the beer up. Over to Untapped, they have it at 4.09. that's in their A- range, and I agree with that more. It's a tasty beer, guys. Not, to me, it's not up to their standards, but it is a little different being a fresh, wet hop beer. So, wet hop beers are a little harder to brew with, in my opinion. I've experienced that same thing. To me, you lose a lot of the beer when you put a bunch of wet hops in there, because it's, you know, you get the aromas and the flavors in there, but those wet hops soak up a lot of the beer, which is then usually thrown away. So it's a little bit more harder to me to brew with a whole cone or a fresh hop beer other than a pellet. Like I said, I've never used powder, lupulin powder, but it's still a tasty beer, guys. So if you've had the 2019 edition of Dear Washington, which is 6.7%, let me know what you think, guys. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.